Hey everyone, this is a presentation on the excretory system. So let's talk about the excretory system. Basically, its main purpose is to remove waste products. The main waste product is urea, okay? And that's a buildup from protein metabolism. So when your body breaks down proteins, urea is going to be one of the waste products. Well, actually, it's ammonia. Ammonia is a waste product, and then your body converts it to a less toxic form, which is urea. So it's not good to have in high concentrations, so your kidneys are there to remove it. In addition, the purpose of the excretory system is to regulate your water in your body. So if you have too much, it'll get rid of the excess. If you have too little, it'll conserve. And it also helps to kind of balance salt relative to water. So just a couple of the organs that are part of your excretory system. You have your kidneys, which is the main unit, and then you have your bladder. So the kidney produces the urine. The functional unit of a kidney is what we refer to as a nephron. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. And when you produce urine, urine will contain water, urea, salts, and some hormones typically. So how do we get urine? There's a three-part process. Number one is filtration. So the excretory system relies very heavily on your circulatory system. So your circulatory system is going to bring the blood supply. And within the blood, remember, you have like your red blood cells, you have proteins dissolved, you have salts, you have water, and you have those waste products and glucose and all kinds of things dissolved in the blood. So what's going to happen first is the blood is going to be filtered. So water, glucose, urea, salts, vitamins, some hormones will be filtered from the blood. Okay, anything that's very large, so like large proteins, cells for sure, like so your red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are much too large, so they actually do not get filtered out. So this area that does the filtering is what we call the glomerulus. Okay, this area right here, and you can almost think about it like a spaghetti strainer. So when you're making spaghetti, you have water and you have spaghetti, okay, and you pour it into the strainer. The spaghetti stays inside the strainer. Okay, so here, the things that are too large are going to stay inside the bloodstream, but everything else is going to be forced out with pressure into the functional, the very beginning of the nephron. This structure over here is what we call the nephron. Okay, all this yellow. And this is going to help to actually produce the urine. Second step is reabsorption. So at this point, okay, we filtered out pretty much everything that was small. Okay, if it was too big, it stayed inside the blood. Okay, so now we filtered out everything that's small. But the problem is you don't want to get rid of all of your water. You don't want to get rid of all the salts. You don't want to get rid of some of these things you need. Glucose, for instance, definitely need that. So what's going to happen is that all this fluid is going to travel through this nephron, and certain things are going to be absorbed back, okay, the things that your body needs. Okay, initially, this is going to occur because molecules are going to move from where they're highly concentrated to where they're less concentrated. So water and nutrients, okay, highly concentrated in here now, are going to diffuse back into the capillaries. Your body will actually produce about 180 liters of filtrate per day. So when you're removing all this liquid, but you can't possibly pee out 180 liters of fluid a day. You'd lose way too much water. You'd lose a lot of things that you actually need. So most of it must actually be absorbed. Okay, so you have your water, your nutrients like glucose being reabsorbed. Okay, some salts may be absorbed, and this is just going to travel through. You can see all these tiny little capillaries that are going to help with the reabsorption. Okay, and eventually you're actually going to have like a little bit more, your body will regulate how much water it needs to reabsorb. So sometimes it'll keep reabsorbing water if you're dehydrated. So you have this special hormone called antidiuretic hormone that your body will secrete in response to low water. So if you're dehydrated, and that'll usually sometimes signal the kidneys to absorb more additional water. Finally, anything that's left over will travel down this collecting duct, okay, and this will eventually get to the bladder for storage. So like a good analogy to kind of think about this, if you're cleaning a room, sometimes it's just helpful to take all this excess stuff out of the room, throw it in the hallway, and then just pull back in things that you want to keep, and then get rid of everything else that's in the hallway. So what happens here, okay, the blood is going to throw everything into the kidneys and then just take back certain things that it needs and reabsorb those back into the blood. The rest will continue to the bladder and will be excreted out of the body. So, and you have this bladder down here. The bladder will store urine until it is full enough to be excreted. So that's why we don't pee constantly. Some organisms actually do as soon as they produce any urine or any type of excretory waste, they actually will just secrete it at that time. Fish, for example, constantly peeing. For us, it's really important that we store and wait to get rid of our excess urine. I think that's pretty much everything that you guys need to know for the excretory system. We're going to be doing a urinalysis lab and looking at the contents of urine and determining if someone is healthy or not. So a good test, some tests of our good urine, we can test water concentration. So if there's enough water, that can indicate that someone is healthy. If they don't have enough water or it's highly concentrated with salts and things like that, it could indicate dehydration. We can look for certain hormones to determine if an individual has pregnancy, for instance. Usually you can use urine and test for hormones that are found inside the urine. You can test for a certain amount of salts. Excess salts can sometimes be bad, and you can get kidney stones, which are terribly painful. Or we can actually look for diabetes by checking to see if the glucose is being reabsorbed or not. So that's a takeaway from everything that we've been talking about so far. Excretory system, circulatory system, respiratory system. All these systems are really great systems to help maintain homeostasis. Okay, these systems all work together. Circulatory system is the one that connects them, and the diffusion of nutrients and waste from high concentration to low concentration is going to help remove the waste and help bring in all the nutrients that all the cells of your body need. Please bring any questions you have with you to class, and we will be doing a urinalysis lab. Okay, have a nice day.